All right, so I have my strengths and weaknesses on a pros and cons list right here. And so a fun little game that I just invented for myself is for the strengths, I'm going to say them aloud and really appreciate each one. I notice that I tend to skim over the strengths and go right to the weaknesses. And that's listed in the weaknesses. And so after I'm done listing my strengths, for example, emotional, strong intuition, magic touch, charisma, peaceful, as I'm saying these, I'm feeling into where I feel these words in my body and practicing feeling them as if it's true, because it is. I have it right here. And your strengths and weaknesses may change over time. So if it doesn't sit with you anymore, reflect on that and reflect on why it doesn't sit with you. But at the same time, acknowledge that you do have strengths and you're allowed to express them. And it's a good thing to express. It's a good thing to know your strengths as much as it is to acknowledge and appreciate your weaknesses. And so for the weakness side, the game I like to do is listing each weakness and then refuting it with its opposite right after I say it. So for example, letting emotions control me. So a weakness of letting emotions control me, that means I must have such a depth of emotions, such an emotional depth, the range of emotions I can feel, the power that my emotions hold, that I have to be aware that, yes, letting my emotions control me. If I don't acknowledge this weakness, that my emotions overtake me, if I don't acknowledge that that's happening, it's going to happen to me unconsciously because I don't want to look at the fact that my emotions are that strong. And the more you repress them, the more it shows up. So by acknowledging that weakness, but simultaneously, okay, I have this weakness, but, so it kind of unifies the strengths with the weakness, the polarity of the both sides of you. Okay, next example. Strong doubt of self-power. The strong doubt voice in my head is really just a strong protector. This doubt is trying to keep me safe because self-power didn't feel safe growing up. And it's something I got bullied for. So it's here to protect me. It protected me in a certain time. I know that. That's why it's here now. If it wasn't useful, it wouldn't be there if it hadn't served some purpose. So just recognize that, acknowledge and accept, or it will keep pushing in. It is such power to know your weaknesses. So next one, let's keep going. Feeling like I don't belong. So feeling like I don't belong, this could be really connected to a higher realm. And this could also be self-protection. If I already feel excluded, no one can reject and exclude me. If I reject myself first by saying, oh, I don't belong and don't let anyone in, that's also a safety protector. So thank you for protecting me, but I can make the decisions in the places that I feel like I belong. I belong everywhere. There may be places you don't exactly vibe with, but to reject yourself by saying, I don't belong, so that no one else can reject you because I've already done it. No one else can reject me even if I don't do it. Someone else's rejection of me is a projection of their feeling like they don't belong and their doubt of their self-power, their self-consciousness. And as long as it exists within them, they're going to project it out onto you. So how do we protect ourselves from that? By acknowledging the weaknesses. What you don't believe doesn't hold power over you. So once I've accepted these weaknesses and someone points out a weakness to me, instead of reacting and, oh, that's not true, like getting defensive, I can acknowledge it. And the fun thing I've learned, the self-doubt voice, to acknowledge it in a playful way, like, oh, no one likes you here, like, oh, that's an interesting thought, and just to let it pass by, like, step back from the thought and like, okay, who is this voice coming through? What aspect of me is coming through right now? Why are they coming through? Rather than just pushing it away, because that's not going to feel good either. Because that's going to leave that part, which is a part of me, feeling unacknowledged, which is going to further and expand this feeling that I don't belong. I'm shutting my own self out. So of course it's like I want the confirmation that I don't belong. So that's why this voice comes up. It's like, I matter. I'm doing a good job, right? It is. You just have to guide it in the right way. Another one, feeling like people don't like me and focusing on it. Okay, so you're very in tune with other people's energies, but don't let that affect your own energy. Focus on your own energy. Acknowledge the truth within the weakness while simultaneously acknowledging the truth in its opposite. Because every truth has the two ends of the spectrum. Everything exists in polarity in this world. So another one, impatience. This could just be passion, fiery energy. And sometimes that passionate, fiery energy can make me impatient. So I just have to remember, okay, I tend to be impatient. So what practices can I implement to ground myself and help guide me through a time when I'm feeling really impatient, rather than pushing away the impatience or judging the impatience like, oh, I can't believe I'm so impatient. The impatience is going to grow and grow and grow. But if we can acknowledge that, yes, I am impatient, I tend to be impatient, it's not something that can't be mutable also, because everything has its opposite. Every strength with its weakness, every weakness with its strength. That's why I love this exercise. If you're still following along, I hope you can resonate with these and try your own practice specific to you and get deeper with it every time. Like, these are weaknesses from 7 months ago, but I would get even deeper with these weaknesses, especially seeing them written down is helpful in checking a few months back, like, where was I at? Does it match energetically with how I am now? And if it feels like I've stayed the same, in what ways am I still stagnant? Because if I don't acknowledge the ways that I'm still stagnant, how am I going to grow and nurture those ways? And also, at the same time, celebrating the growth, because it's not like you've done no growth. You're always evolving, as the same as you might always be regressing. It's your viewpoint of it. So I like to always acknowledge both the strengths and the weaknesses. Another one that goes along with this theme is judgmental. Okay, that inner judge, that inner critic is protecting you. It has a strong sense of justice. So if you naturally have a strong sense of justice, you're going to be very judgmental to yourself. Why? Because you want to be the most just and fair person all the time. But sometimes that can come across as really pushy, like I'm pushing myself to be the best person, and so I'm really hard on myself, which makes me project being hard on others when I'm really not being hard on them. I'm not even realizing it. So it's just, you see how it goes back and forth like this? Yeah. Analytical of self, also very highly logical brain, very gifted in analyzing. Just too much analyzing without that balance of nurturing and caring, which are my strengths, is just gonna feel okay. So here's where it can go two ways. Analytical of self can go too judgmental, where I'm not going to rise above this because I keep staying in that state. And then you get to the point where I'm analyzing how I'm being so analytical, like analyzing myself, doing the analyzing. It just like Russian dolls. It's like one thing after the one thing inside the next, peeling back layers of an onion, Where on the other hand, I'm very emotional and in tune with that intuitive side, and being too much in this calm energy, I'm going to be undisciplined. So it's that mix of how to discipline yourself, but with that self-love and nurturance. That's at 10 minutes already. So I think we get the gist. And this was a fun practice. Let's play again soon.